Morning. It's Monday, September 14th, and autumn is almost upon us. But what is upon us right now is the voting season. Today, mail-in balloting is starting in many places today. So I thought I would give you a rundown of what you need to know about mail-in balloting, because there are going to be differences in many of the states. So I came across something that has information that we all ought to know. So hang in there. Because of the pandemic, requests for mail-in ballots have increased across the country, and many states had to adjust their policies to give the voters a safe alternative to voting in person because of COVID-19. Now, President Trump has questioned and attacked the reliability of mail-in voting but experts say it's safe and secure. But this year, counting the votes is most likely going to take a lot longer than usual because many states will allow extra time for ballots to arrive after Election Day, as long as they have the postmark on or before November 3rd. So here is a survey of all the state election offices, and here's what you need to know. There are 6 states where you need an excuse to vote. I guess an excuse is you can't say you're afraid of the virus, probably. You probably have to be ill, or for whatever reason, you need an excuse to vote. And those states are Indiana, Tennessee, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Texas. In all the other states, you can request a mail ballot, and it's not a problem. And I requested a mail ballot. No, I haven't gotten mine yet, but we can't vote until October 24th, I believe is our date. So if you're mailing in your ballot, you need to be careful. You need to know the expected date that's allowed for your mail-in ballot to be a valid vote. There's 28 states that will only count the ballots that arrive before or on November 3rd. So if you live in one of those states, then you better mail immediately to ensure that it gets there by November 3rd. Then there are 22 states, plus the District of Columbia, that will count ballots that are postmarked on or before Election Day, even if they arrive at a later date. So you could see, and knowing the way the post office is working anyhow, you could see right now that in many states, it could be a week before they decide that they've received all the ballots. And these deadlines vary by state. It's not universal. So in our area, which I consider New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, in New York and in New Jersey, your ballot will be counted as long as it's postmarked on or before November 3rd. However, in Connecticut, it must be in their hands by November 3rd. Or else it won't be counted. That's a pretty important piece of information. Now, if there's anybody who wants to find out exactly where their relatives live and whether they got to give them a heads up, I have attached to this email the interactive chart that will give you all the information about all the states in the country. So after you finish listening to what I have to say, just open up the chart. Click on whatever state you want, read the little paragraphs that show up and explain what each part of the chart is all about, and then you'll be well-versed in mail-in balloting in the United States this year. Now, in the chart, the green states, which are those that will accept the ballot after November 3rd, as long as it was postmarked by November 3rd, represent 313 of the nation's electoral votes, and there are 538 electoral votes. So that's 58% of the electoral vote are in the green states. That's what the chart is. So that's one reason why the winner might not be able to be declared right away on election night, because many of the states don't have a fixed deadline like the yellow states. It's in the attachment to this email. So you would think that if they're what I will call the green states, the ones that allow for a postmark but not arrival on November 3rd, that their grace period would be universal, the same grace period for every state. Like a week, we'll wait a week for your ballot, or we'll wait 2 weeks. That's not the case. Washington State has the longest grace period. They're prepared to wait till November 23rd. Now, I think that's a little ridiculous, but in any event, that's what they're going to do. So that means that it's quite possible that we won't have a president until after November 23rd, which in my mind would be kind of unconscionable. But that's the way it is. Now, for voters who are unable to vote by mail or would rather vote in person, all but 5 states offer some form of early in-person voting to all voters ahead of Election Day. An excuse is necessary to vote early in person in Mississippi, Missouri, South Carolina, New Jersey, and Oregon. Now, New York, I know, allows early voting because we can vote, I think, on October 24th at the Dick Sills Firehouse. So having said all of that, please look at the attachment, click on any states, and get all the information that you need. I believe it's all there for you to vote safely and vote early, and I'll see you in the morning.